ever looked up from what you were doing only to realize that hours have passed and you can't remember a single moment? Or maybe you've taken a step forward and found yourself somewhere entirely different. We're diving into the strange and unsettling world of reality's loose ends. These are stories of glitches in the matrix when time bends, folds, and slips through our fingers. We'll explore encounters where people suddenly found themselves in the past, glimpsed into the future, or lost days that should have been theirs. And we'll ask, if time isn't as stable as we think, what else might be breaking? Hey there, listeners, and welcome back to Fear and Flame Podcast. I'm Brooklyn.
Powcast!
Welcome to the Powcast.
I'm Mason. Welcome back.
This is Wyatt.
It's Mason.
I'll start that over.
No.
Oh,
that's
keep
good.
it in.
Today we're talking about time slips and glitches in the Matrix. So strike a match, light a candle, and settle in.
I remember my first acid trip.
This one is sure to ignite some fear. So dumb.
I'm just kidding.
So today we're talking about a few different things. I think they all tie together, but there's glitches in the Matrix, time slips. Pretty much it can go into different things. So whether people go to the past or see the future, just glimpse into other areas. And then glitches, just very odd random things that happen that can't be explained. Mm-hmm. Have either of you experienced either of these things?
There's one thing that bothers me a lot, and it makes me think about it. Me and a work buddy heard the same song on the radio, and we listened to it once or twice. All right, and then a couple months later, I was like, "Hey, do you remember that song?" He's like, "Yeah, I kind of remember part of it." And then we tried for weeks to figure out what the song was. Like we typed in the lyrics that we knew, everything. Google searched it. And then done the humming thing where you hum the
sound of
the song and everything, and we never could find it. Asked a bunch of people around.
Man, you called me.
Yeah, I called Mason.
I was at work one day. He called me. He's like, "Hey, man, do you kind of know a song that goes like,
Yeah, and we tried forever and ever. I went through my music history back to the time that we were listening to the song. Went through all the songs that we were listening to on the playlist at that time. It wasn't in there, so... That's always been one of those things where I wonder if it just doesn't exist anymore. If it was since me and him were always together working and we drove home in the same truck, it's maybe we slipped into a parallel universe where everything's the same, but that one song is missing.
I hate stuff like that because it makes you feel like you are insane.
You never know.
Like you've lost your mind.
Know. I like the idea, and this is kind of similar. I don't know if I like the idea, but I've thought of the idea of if you at some point have been abducted or taken away or whatever, and you had your memory erased and dropped into the same exact place you were, you'd have no idea.
Yeah.
You would have no clue.
That's like the alien abduction thing where people think that they were abducted, but there's no way to prove it. They have no memories of it. I got a feeling.
You have no proof.
Yeah.
It's kind of just well...
I guess I just got to keep on keeping on.
What are you going to do about it?
It's scary. It kept, that story from our last episode we did where the guy was in that house that made you forget things. But people will be like, I lived a whole other life and then got put back to where I was. And now I'm grieving a family that I had
that never existed.
That's supposed to be a real thing for people in comas and stuff.
Yes.
Or insane. If you do, what's that drug, Wyatt?
Why is it always
it's real. I think it's a
DMT.
DMT, I think, something like that.
Yeah. Some people think they've lived partial lives on certain hallucinogens.
Yeah. No, if you take something you'll be out for 6 to 8 minutes. You wake up, you feel like it's been you were a whole nother person.
Yeah. Some people that say after doing I think it was DMT.
I think it is.
That they'd be out for 6 or 8 minutes on the trip and then think they experienced a couple years.
Yes.
That's insane.
Life just continued on from there, and then
and then you pop back in.
It's scary.
But wasn't that one of the big internet stories about the guy that was in a coma or something and lived an entire life with wife and kids, and then he seen a lamp that looked different.
Yeah.
And
the lamp looked funny.
Yeah.
And then he just
come out of it and was had to cope with the feelings of losing a wife and kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, that were never actually there, maybe.
I wonder what that lamp looks like.
Just kidding.
No, but seriously, I've seen so many different stories of to the point to where I almost believe it's Like, it's possible, you know? Like,
Yeah.
it's a constant, like, it could happen type thing.
That's like probably one of my biggest fears too. Like, could you imagine? What if you're in that right now?
Well, because
Yeah.
I've seen it so meme, too, on the internet to where it's like, COVID, like, Bitcoin, dude, what are you talking about? Like, let's play some Tony Hawk Skate.
Yeah, like that, where
Mom's
you just
making pizza rolls.
you wake up and it's like the last 5 years weren't actually a real thing or something like that. It's kind of a crazy thought.
Yeah.
It is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'd buy Bitcoin, though.
Yeah.
I know that. You send me back about 10 years. I know
I'm
what to
loading
do.
up.
You know?
We'll
So-
start with some historical accounts first. So I have some that are like, I think, considered time slips. This first one was in 1901 in Versailles, the Moberly Jordan incident. It says Charlotte Ann Moberly and Eleanor Jourdain were no thrill seekers. They were respectable English academics visiting Paris, curious about the Petit Trianon, a small estate of grounds on Versailles. On an August afternoon, as they explored the gardens, the air seemed to thicken. The sunlight dimmed into a flat yellow haze. All natural sounds, the winds in the trees, the buzz of insects, fell silent. They noticed men in long green coats and tricorn hats, carrying odd tools. A young man appeared, gaunt and pockmarked, and pointed them toward a shaded path. Then they saw her, a woman in a pale green gown, sketching. She didn't look up. Her face was beautiful but strangely lifeless, like a painted portrait. Only later, when they studied portraits of Marie Antoinette, did they feel a chilling certainty that they had seen the doomed queen herself moments before the French Revolution consumed her world. The atmosphere broke as abruptly as it began. Sounds returned, light shifted, and they found themselves back in 1901. The two women later published an adventure describing their strange walk. Critics called it imagination. Believers pointed to the eerie accuracy of the period details they described. Details not widely known until archival records surfaced like decades later. So they think they saw Marie Antoinette. So a lot of the ones that are historical are like time slips where they go into the past.
Yeah.
Typically, I feel like.
I've seen, I don't know. I feel like that it's hard to prove, even if like you're like, okay, well, it wasn't very well known that how like people dressed or these specific details. But I think it'd be easy to, if you got to jump on some of those things, to just completely make up that. Like,
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
like if you were able to find like some record or something beforehand, before most people were aware.
Yeah.
You know, but even if it's not, it's
lot of
weird that it's
people-
two of them.
Yeah. Argue like what are the actual causes of the time slips? For example, like ones where you're going in the past specifically, people think they're like residual hauntings or like ghosts, like things like that, to where it's like, oh, that's not a time. That's not like them actually
You're not
to a
going
different
back.
time.
They're coming here.
And you're just seeing, yeah, like how it looked or how it sounded or what they're, so I don't know.
Which that's, I mean,
The weird thing to me is, which this happened at the Alamo story that we talked, is when the ghosts notice them. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not just like, oh, I'm seen into their world and they don't know I'm
No.
here. It's like they look at them,
Yeah.
type of thing. So
almost
it's
like you're
strange.
invading their space.
Yeah, it's very odd.
Gosh, no, yeah. I think, which it's weird too, the detail of that she kind of looked lifeless or like a painting. So that either that adds to that theory of that it's like a ghost, or that it's all like, you know, some reflection almost of the past in the present world, or just the fact that they'd seen her in paintings so much that it's just
Like ingrained in their mind
yes,
anyways.
that
Yeah.
she's like dead and gone and whatever, and the only, like, it's like if you saw George Washington
Yeah.
just walk around, he'd probably throw you for a loop, you know?
I'd want to look at those teeth, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. I thought that
Oh yeah.
right when he said George Washington. I wanted to make a tooth joke, but I couldn't come up with one.
That dude was like, could you imagine? It's 1770, like 5 or 6 or whatever. And, you know, it's Christmas Day. You're chilling out at camp. You know, you and your boys are playing some cards, you know, just whatever. And you look, and at the river there's a 6'3". Mind you, everybody's like 5'8" max. Okay, at this time, there's a 6'3" donkey, wooden, whatever, jack teeth dude on a canoe with 5 other guys just rowing at you, coming towards you. You know how terrified you'd be? You'd be like, ooh, you know. Mind you, you're
Wig
some,
and all.
yeah, you're some British guy. You know, you've never seen anybody over 5'9". Good
Freaking
night.
unit. He's just a unit.
Yes. God, you know, like that's who you want as your guy. Okay. Imagine, what's his name? Freaking Jokic.
Oh, yeah.
Nikola, you know, whatever.
Oh,
Imagine-
Jokic.
yeah, imagine him and 7 other guys in a boat coming after you. I'd
Breaking
be a little
ice
nervous.
along the way.
Next one is 1935 Scotland. Victor Goddard and the Drim Airfield. Victor Goddard, an experienced Royal Air Force officer, was flying from Edinburgh to Andover when a storm forced him toward Drim Airfield. At the time, Drim was abandoned, overgrown with weeds, and covered in rusting debris. But as he approached through sheets of rain, the world seemed to snap into something brighter. The sky cleared into brilliant sunlight. Below, the airfield was bustling. Mechanics in bright blue coveralls worked on a gleaming yellow painted biplanes. The hangars looked freshly built. When the storm pulled him through the scene and back to present day, Drim was once again derelict. Goddard told no one for years, until 1939 when the airfield was refurbished exactly as he had seen it, down to the yellow planes and blue overalls. It wasn't just a vision. It was as if Goddard had flown through a hole in time, peering 4 years into the future. So, he drove through a storm and saw the future.
I think I've heard of that before. I think I may have
so.
seen that on
It sounds kind of familiar for some
Yeah.
reason, but
I don't know. I have a like I said, I have a hard time if it's not brought to
someone's attention way, way, way before.
either like
Yeah.
whenever you find out something like that. And, you know, I have a hard time believing it when it's like, oh, well, yeah, actually, I saw this like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
I just
Let
didn't
me
want to tell
describe
nobody.
exactly what's going on right now.
Yeah.
But I saw it before you guys did.
But also, if you do tell people, is that going to make people lean towards wanting to make it exactly how you said it was, just for kicks? You know what I mean? Like,
Just to jack with you? That'd be
Yeah.
hilarious.
just to be like, oh, I saw they had blue overalls and everything, and they just completely
Yeah.
do exactly
No,
what
We-
hey,
the Air
that was
Force
actually
does
a good idea.
Just to mess with that guy. No, yeah. If it's something to where it's like, okay, you wrote it down in a journal at the very least or something, like, you know, part of your daily
Yeah.
whatever.
But also, you can put something down in a journal that had the date and the year
Yeah.
back 4 years, and it be after you already
Yeah.
saw it.
It's hard to, unless it's something that's like, you know, either you make it well known that, hey, I saw this beforehand, and then it comes to be, or, you know, something like that. But it's so hard for me to believe in somebody
Yeah.
that's like,
I think Alex Jones has done that a couple times, though.
Has he really?
I think so.
yeah. But he I mean, like, yeah, I think he did.
I'm pretty
I don't
sure
think
he
he
called
just-
like a couple things like almost on the dot.
It's fine.
Has he seen into the future, supposedly?
I don't think he called
Yeah.
it seeing into the future, though. He was just like,
I think
this
he's
is
just
gonna
figuring
happen.
it out. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
know.
Prophesying.
Like investigative more.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like he had
More
an
than a
idea.
premonition, more like a
Yeah.
He had
Less than a fact,
insiders.
Yeah. Like, he went to that one little owl thing.
Oh, the
I can't remember
Oh,
what that's called.
the
We
Grove.
should talk about
Yeah,
that.
the Grove.
Pretty sure he called 9/11 too.
Or something like that, yeah. I think he said some weird stuff on September
He said
10th.
something about like planes are going to crash into buildings or something. I
Yeah.
thought maybe I could
Yikes.
be misremembering.
But I mean, you know what? But I think at the time, even then, that was kind of like, if you kind of knew what was going on, you
Yeah,
kind of
that
see
was there's a good
something-
chance. Yeah,
Maybe not like exactly that, but like something
Is
like
gonna happen.
major is going to happen just because of like the current political
Things that are going on.
environment, you know, like I think it'd be easy to call on stuff
Yeah,
like
he called some
I'm
stuff
sure a
that
lot of
didn't
people
happen too,
do.
though. So you know, he's just maybe
Like a lot of people
spitballing
do
enough.
that.
Yeah,
like South Park or whatever.
You talk like The Simpsons?
Or Simpsons.
Oh, the Simpsons thing. That one's kind of more interesting to me.
Yeah. I think the thing with The Simpsons is they do enough bits of just random
That every now and
Eventually
again they're
something
gonna
you're gonna get right.
that they kind of get it, on the money. If they just because they keep on satirizing, because it's basically just they're satirizing how America is and where they think it's gonna go, right? Because like whenever they're like, oh, like the Donald Trump thing, I'm sure they probably just like picked a random like reality TV show during the time when reality TV show was like the biggest thing, and was like, yeah, we'll probably have like a reality TV show star as president at this rate, with how
It's just crazy how much they do get right.
Yeah, The Simpsons has hit a few good notes.
Yeah.
For sure. But like Mason said, I think that's kind of what they were out to do.
Yeah.
it's just to like, I don't know. I think South Park does stuff like that.
They do too.
But
I think
do it
they've
kind
had
of
a few
I think they
things.
have, but they're mostly focused on current
events.
events.
Yeah, and kind of just making fun of maybe not.
Every now and again, they'll do something that kind of comes to be, but it's usually a lot closer than what The Simpsons was doing. Because The Simpsons was like some of their stuff was years before it come to light.
Yeah.
I think the South Park stuff's usually pretty quickly
Close,
after.
yeah.
Which they got the me and Mason were talking about it the other day. They got the like Trump winning the election thing wrong.
Yeah.
Because they thought Hillary was going to win, so they'd pretty much set up the presidential election winning for Hillary Clinton to get it, and then
Had to
whenever
rewrite it like a week.
yeah,
like,
and then when
Really?
Trump won it, they had to rewrite the
yes, they essentially because they had it to where one of the main characters of South Park, Mr. Garrison, they had him be the stand-in for Trump essentially because they didn't really want to give Trump the ego boost. I think.
Yeah.
But they were like, we had a stand-in. And so when he won, they essentially lost the Mr. Garrison character as like the school teacher for like 4 years.
Yeah, they had to make him president
Because he had to be he had to be Trump. So it's like, well, okay.
We lost somebody.
Yes, like now we have to make this dude be Trump for the next 4 years in our bits. Okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Same thing with what is it? It's the one presidential thing, the Disney, the animatronic, to where they made a Hillary Clinton
Oh
animatronic,
yeah,
and they had to
they tried to make it and be prepared for her to be the president, and then
Yes.
Trump got it.
and so they had to like retrofit the sucker to make
Yeah.
it because you could look at it.
It looked like Hillary.
It does. You could
Oh my
like if you
gosh.
changed out the hair, it looks
Yeah.
like Hillary
It
Clinton.
was Hillary Clinton.
Like,
That's
it's
Yeah.
crazy.
on the money, which is like.
Everyone was so convinced that she was
Yeah.
going to win. They did that.
Well, I mean, you got to think too. Like, I'm still amazed. Well, I guess I'm not amazed at anyone, but it really is just like because at the time, whenever he
Yeah.
first came in, I mean, he was like bottom pole, like 1-2%, like popularity of like the Republican Party, and then
Up the lottery.
yeah, shot up from there. So it's
crazy.
ridiculous. I love all the clips, like all the. I don't love them, but I think it is funny. All the clips are like Donald Trump will never be president.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remembered after he won the presidency, the amount of like cuts and stuff that were
People
thrown
were put
together of all the
together.
people that were like, he'll never be.
Yes.
Donald Trump will never be, and then it would cut to that reporter crying on live TV or whatever.
Oh, yikes.
God.
We'll go to the next one. So this one is the coolest, and you guys might have heard a little bit about. It's called Liverpool's Bold Street. This is supposedly a street that has a lot of weird things happen, especially like glitch in the matrix or time slip type things. Bless you.
Thank you.
So this one was Liverpool's Bold Street. It's called the Phantom 1940s. So in the late 1990s, a retired policeman, Frank, was heading toward a bookshop on Liverpool's Bold Street to meet his wife. The sunny afternoon suddenly shifted, sound dulled, and a strange stillness took hold. He looked around to find himself surrounded by people in 1940s clothing. Men in hats and suspenders. Women in steam stockings and bright red lipstick. Shop fronts were different too. The bookshop he'd been heading to had become a store called Cripps, its window filled with period goods. Then just as suddenly, a young woman in modern clothes walked past. Frank blinked and the street was back to normal. The familiar shop right where it should be. The woman, pale and confused, later admitted to him she'd experienced something strange as she passed him. Multiple time slip reports have since emerged from Bold Street, cementing it as one of Britain's most infamous reality bending locations. So if you look into that place specifically, so many reports of like time slips or glitches in the Matrix.
Like weird anomalies.
And I don't know if I didn't look into the history of that street, if like there's been things that have happened, or I don't know, but it's weird.
I think it's just part of the fact that like any European city is like, dude, it is hundreds of years old. Like you've got pubs from like the 1600s. Still,
old.
Yeah, so I it's probably just partly that, and I think I do like the idea though of people not necessarily traveling back to the past,
just kind of catching a glimpse of it.
Yes, but the past maybe reflecting ahead into, and like you just happen to
for a split second, like.
Right time, right place.
It's just so weird that he is a police officer, so they think that made his testimony more believable. Yeah. But just that other girl saw everything
something
too, and
weird,
she was like,
shook up a little.
Weird, yeah.
And that's the worst. Oh my God, that's the worst. If you have something weird happen, and you're like,
if you're already a little mentally vulnerable, and that would be.
And somebody else was like, actually, I think I saw that too.
Like,
yeah, because I can make myself think that I'm just crazy.
Yeah.
It's like, you know.
You can talk
but when you got a second person.
Yes. Did you hear that?
It's like, maybe not.
God, dude.
But magnetic field, people argue magnetic field and stuff with all these things too.
Yeah, I'm sure. Knows? Like different places. Which is kind of something that's interesting. That's something I'd like to read on a little bit, but I haven't got the chance yet. Like energy in certain places and stuff. Not like the weird hippie energy with rocks. But
like
and
magnetic.
But stuff like that like interests me a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, because that's the thing too. Is not even just like magnetics, but even like frequency and stuff like that. Like everything has like a toned. Like frequency that it gives off, right? So if I don't know if that's related at all, but I think it is interesting that like you can match it up with anything and it's gonna whatever. Yeah, no, stuff like that's weird, dude.
I don't like it.
I don't like it.
I mean, like it would be kind of cool, but also it would be terrifying.
Yeah, because because then too, if we can figure out how to like, I don't know, harness being it, like if it's like where you can look kind of back if you're in the right place or the right energy or whatever, maybe there's some things we probably shouldn't look back on,
or there's things that weren't told. There's a lot of things that we're not told truthfully that we don't actually know how it went down.
That's like the memory thing, places and objects can hold memory kind of thing.
Yeah
like
just so many
like
different
war zone battles where big battles happened, people can feel things there and stuff like that. It's just an interesting concept.
Yes, it is. Here's my last historical one. This is the Philadelphia Naval Shipyard. I don't know if you guys took film class.
No.
But there was
there was a reason I didn't take.
In film, we watched class. A movie about this because it is a controversy. It's not necessarily a time slip. It was like an experiment, but it kind of was like gave me glitch in the Matrix type vibes because they don't know if it's true or not. It's not said to be true. But anyways, in 1943, whispers began to circulate about a top secret Navy project in Philadelphia Naval Shipyard. A test that supposedly went far beyond conventional science. Known as the Philadelphia Experiment, the story claims that the USS Eldridge was fitted with advanced technology meant to render it invisible to the enemy radar. But witnesses alleged that something far stranger happened. The ship vanished entirely, reappearing miles away before returning to its original position. And the crew changed. Some sailors were said to have gone mad. Others fused into the ship's metal. And a few vanished without a trace. Whether it was government cover-up, mass hallucination, or a rip in the fabric of reality, the tale resonates with those who have experienced time slips and glitches in the Matrix. If an entire warship could allegedly blink in and out of space and time, who's to say that a lone traveler on a dark road couldn't suddenly step into the wrong decade or lose hours without warning?
Mm-hmm. I've heard about that.
The imagery is sick. Like it's like people are like
they fused
halfway into the metal of the ship and halfway. It was
almost like a teleportation gone wrong. Everything didn't line up right,
and people were like messed up looking. Yeah.
Tell you what, son needs to work on his mower. It is misfiring like crazy.
Go out there and check on his mower.
mean, yeah, no.
So I'm pretty sure we watched a movie, and it was about
Can't
that.
remember if we did. Maybe
It was
not.
it messed me up for a little bit, though.
And honestly, let's be real. The government, just because like 99.99% of it is just BS, so the government's not gonna be like, oh yeah, we're like, that stuff's BS or whatever. But like, that there's somebody in the government trying like everything. Zombies probably aren't real, but the government has seen if they can. You know what I mean? Like they've tried to figure it out. Like being able to like transport your mind to other places or whatever probably isn't real.
But they're gonna see.
But somebody in the government has tried it out, like at the end of the day. Because you got to remember, like, Nazi Germany or whatever, whenever they're like, this is back in the 40s, and whenever it fell, and they were looking through all, like, the different, like, experiments, it's like they were trying to do super soldiers.
There was
They
a
were
lot
trying
of, the
to do-
Nazis were into, there's a lot of conspiracies about stuff around them because they were trying everything.
Well, there was no ethical or moral obligation. They could
No,
do
they
whatever they wanted, however they wanted,
whatever they
whoever
could
wanted.
to win the war, essentially.
Yeah.
Same with like Japan and stuff like that. I mean, just trying out whatever to try to get that, leading edge.
Step ahead of everybody.
Yes. And so it really makes you think like, so that was like almost 80, 90 years ago. What have they figured out? What all have they? Because I think that at some point, if you try out enough things, I mean,
Something's gonna
something's
work
gotta
out.
work. Yeah, you've got to have a
Yeah.
few like aces up your sleeve just in case like things go downhill pretty quick.
It'd be cool if it was something where you could transport a ship without having a bunch of people get stuck inside the walls and lose their minds. But
Hey, but even then, I mean, that's still
Hey, things happen.
yeah.
gotta spend
Gosh.
money to make money. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
gotta crack a couple eggs,
Crack
baby.
a few eggs, make it
Hey, we'll get more recruits. No, but seriously, I think it is. I mean, that was when the 30s. You said
That was in the 40s, 1943.
Yeah, and it is like if you look at like the amount of UFO sightings and stuff like that, and you look at the kind of technology like the Air Force and whatever had in like the 70s and the 80s, because that's what they've told us, because like everybody else has it or seen it or knows how it works anyways, so they'll be like, oh yeah, the SR-71, we haven't flown it in like 30 years.
Yeah.
But that's the fastest thing that we're going to tell you about.
Yeah.
So like surely there's got to be some crazy, like, I feel like the most like UFO sightings and stuff like that, just because of a lot of them are in America and stuff like that, I'm sure most of it's just military technology that they're
probably.
we talked about this, but
We
that they're
probably have. That reminds me, I've
Yeah.
probably talked about it, but we were working on a pond one time out in the boonies, and we had a fighter jet come overhead, like pretty almost kissing the treetops. Like, I'm assuming he didn't think anything was going on in the area.
Yeah.
And like, I was working in an excavator, and I thought the machine blew up for a second with the way, because he had to have been, I'm assuming, traveling past the speed of sound, because like the whole machine shook, and I thought the engine blew or something for a split second, and then I seen him going past us and over the pond dam, and away he went.
Do you think he went up quite a bit higher after
I'm
that?
sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure if he noticed us after he blew past, I'm sure he probably gained a little altitude.
I mean, that's the thing too. I mean, what would you? I mean, you wouldn't have had time to like pull out a phone and
Yeah,
record
there
it
was no
anyway,
recording.
so
He was moving quick.
you're going, So yeah, stuff like that. Even if it's just a regular jet that we've already got. I mean, I'm sure it's one of those things to where the type of technology they have now is probably crazy.
Yeah.
It's probably like close to like. You could probably convince somebody you may be teleporting or something.
Yeah.
You know,
Because of
like-
how fast. Yeah. I believe it.
Yeah.
If they told me, yep.
Because
Sure
I've seen
enough.
like, I guess supposedly like images and stuff like that of like an SR-91 that's supposed to be
Really?
like theorized that's like existing, but
Probably
but
so.
I think that it has existed for like a while, because like no
Probably.
way that I would know about it if it hasn't already been
Yeah,
like a
here
thing.
for a long time.
Jump on the World of Tanks forums, man. That's
Yeah,
where
you'll find some.
that's where the
get some
classified stuff is.
Actually,
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
there's like it is a big problem that in like I can't remember if it's like it's World Tanks or something like that,
one of
or
those
War Thunder
games.
or whatever,
Yeah,
where it's
something.
like
people are hopping on and just
to display, because people are like, this is not how this tank works, and here's
Yeah.
why,
Yeah.
and they'll put out like spec sheets of like classified.
Yeah, there's been more than once that classified
It's happened
documents documents
multiple
were
times.
found in their forums.
It's happened multiple times where like somebody has like put out classified information and be like, that's not how this works.
Yeah,
That's
this
not how
is
this
how it
looks.
works. See,
Oh,
this is the
yikes.
classified
Yes.
document.
This
that
is how it
says so.
actually works. Look.
Just
And
to
it's
prove
like,
their own point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just to be like, this isn't how this tank works in
And
real
then
life.
they disappear.
Yeah, because those people are so into it being as
yeah.
accurate as they can, where it's like they're willing to do whatever to,
We're going to submit
Make that happen.
classified documents
Yeah.
to prove our point.
you know, you give some autist in the military some access to that, and he's really into
World
war
Tank.
or whatever.
he's
You know.
he's like, Dadgummit, I'm just gonna
Like, that's not right.
I'm gonna leak this document.
You know,
That's insane.
I shouldn't have lost that match.
that is not how that works.
We'll go into some Glitch in the Matrix stories from Reddit. This one is from Rich Dimension 9254. It says, I'm ready to tell my Glitch in the Matrix story. Time loops and seeing my sister twice. Hello, everyone. I am a longtime lurker of this sub, first-time poster. The story I'm about to share is 100% truth and really happened to me about 15 years ago. Believe it or not, to this day I cannot explain it. It says they changed the names to remain anonymous,
Yeah.
but... When I was 15, my family moved into a rental house. There was always a weird energy about that house. I can't explain it, but something was always eerie about it. It was a beautiful old home, and an elderly widow had lived in it before us. She had been an opera singer and a college professor in the arts. Her name was Mrs. Martin, and she became kind of a character in the house that we'd reference often as her children rented us the home with literally all of her belongings still in it.
That's
so
cool.
everything she owned.
Wow.
That's a little strange.
They didn't even
Yeah.
clean out the fridge. It was
So
very
she's
strange.
like, she's warm, and they're like, well,
Time to
guess-
get some renters in.
you know, now's the chance. You know, we got get that passive income, baby.
Yikes. It said the house basically felt like the day she passed.
Yeah.
Like it was left like
Probably
the day she
was.
passed
Yeah,
away.
they left stuff in the fridge. Dude, she was like, seriously, like they had the memorial like on Sunday.
Monday they
Renters were
moving
in on Monday
Yeah.
morning.
That's terrible.
It says, oh, and the attic was infested with bats. No clue if that's relevant, but it contributed to the spooky factor that always felt like it was inside the house. I never liked staying by myself there, even during the daytime. Don't blame you. On the night of the incident, I was home with my best friend Mallory, also 15, her younger sister Olive, 13, and my little sister Emma, who was 11. Mallory and I were in the living room watching a movie, and Olive and Emma were hanging out in the den, which was the room off the living room with a door. They were watching TV. No parents were home at the time. At one point, my sister Emma decided to go upstairs and take a shower. The way the house was set up, there was only one staircase, and you had to walk through the living room to use it. So, she came out of the den, walked through the living room, went up, showered, and was there for maybe half an hour. When she was done, she walked down the stairs in a white towel, stopped on the 6th step, and went, "Hey guys," with a little wave, to which we acknowledged her cheerfully, and then she kept walking down the stairs through the living room. By Mallory and I watching TV, and then opened the door into the den and closed it behind her. My mom had been folding clothes in the den earlier, which is why she came downstairs to get dressed. Maybe 2 to 5 minutes later, Mallory and I still in the living room, and Olive, and we assume Emma, are watching TV in the den, when we hear from over our shoulder, "Hey guys," in the same inflection and tone as before, and it's my sister Emma in a white towel, who had walked down the stairs, was stopped at the 6th step, had her hand up for a small wave, and then kept walking down when Mallory and I both gasped.
That's not Emma.
Turned and looked
I don't
into
know.
each
That's
other's
something I would
faces
do to my siblings.
with absolute horror.
Like just to.
Just to mess with
Yeah.
It said it happened so quickly, but we both bolted upright, ran to the den, burst open the door to a start of Olive. Emma was trailing close behind with a, "What's going on?" When I opened the door, I truly expected to see another version of my sister sitting in there, but it was just Olive. So, this isn't the end of the story, but
Oh yeah.
they see her sister come downstairs, because there's only one way to get to the den. It's through the living room. Hey, they both acknowledge her. Both girls acknowledge her, say hi. She goes in there, and then 5 minutes later, the exact same thing happens, and they go to open, they get to the den before she does, and their sister isn't in there. It's the one coming behind them.
No, like, yeah, but 100%. Like, if I was like an 11-year-old, that would be the best.
Oh
prank.
yeah, if I could pull it off.
To
How
just
could-
like
how
kind
could you
of like
pull that off?
sneakily crawl
watching
back.
TV.
Yeah, like they're
They
distracted.
have to walk back in front of them, though.
I don't.
Not,
it didn't
how do you
sound
know
like
they
that
don't
she had
have
to
to
walk in front
they
of
could
her.
circle around behind her? Yeah. What do you mean walk right?
It's
in front
like
of her?
you to basically like there's the den with the door. They can see the door. Mm-hmm. She comes down the stairs in front of them. I'm assuming to get to the den through the door.
Yeah.
What if
She'd
they?
have to get
If
right
you-
I
back.
need
Plan it
a house
well.
layout.
Yeah.
It depends on the house
Because
layout.
let's
Need a
say they have a
house
window
layout.
on the den.
Yeah.
Pop out the window, go around, come up from another window,
Yeah.
slide back in, creep back up the stairs.
That's a lot of effort.
11-year-olds are the
Oh,
most.
dude. Yeah. If that would have come to my mind, I would have tried it.
Because the more you put into that, the freakier it is for everybody else. You know what I mean? Like, if you can pull it off,
So
that's
this
a pretty
is.
solid prank.
It says Mallory and I immediately began questioning them. Emma, didn't you just walk down here a couple of minutes ago? Olive, are you sure Emma didn't come into the den just a few minutes ago? Emma, did you come downstairs after the shower but then go back up somehow? But we knew there was no way she could have come back upstairs without walking by us in the living room. It made no sense. Both girls were so confused and beginning to get scared. So the little girls were getting scared.
Yeah, I'd have been like, Oliver, if you don't play along with this, I'm gonna give you a reason to be scared.
They only they truly had no idea what we were talking about. Emma swore she'd only come down the stairs at one time, and Olive swore she had never walked into the den in a towel before we all came in together just then. Because our sisters were so young at the time and we could tell they were getting spooked, we decided to just pretend we were kidding and let them go back to the living room. I remember sitting in silence and maybe even asking, "You saw that too, right?" And then we never spoke of it again. I honestly didn't even tell my parents or my sister what happened until a couple of years ago. My sister said she has no memory of it all. I haven't spoken to Mallory since high school, so I have no idea if she remembers it. All I know is, if Mallory hadn't been there to witness it and have the same reaction I did in the moment before either of us spoke a word, I probably would have thought I was losing my mind. I'll never forget the horror and look of confusion she gave me, and I probably gave right back to her when Emma came down the stairs the second time. To this day, it still creeps me out to think about it. In the years since, I have read many stories about glitches in the Matrix and seen some time loops. People witnessing the same event happen twice or more in the same way, usually close together. I believe this is what Mallory experienced with my sister that day. We only lived in that house for a year before my parents purchased their own home and we moved. Last year, my sister went back to visit the town and said she drove by that house. Apparently, they split into two homes or rented out to college kids. We both agreed the strange energy the forces that exist in the home were probably not too happy to be split in two. Basically, they said some weird stuff going to be happening to those college kids.
You know, and I think the one thing that makes me think that it's just like a kid messing with their siblings is like, why would you bring attention to yourself randomly, just been like after the shower, after you go get dressed? Like, if you're not trying to like, because that's such a weird thing to stop on the stairs.
That's a boy thing, though.
Bring up your hand and be like, hey guys. Hey everybody.
Look at me, I'm on the sixth step.
Look where I am. Look at me. And then like continue on with my day.
Yeah.
Like, it's so random. Like, why would you do that? You know, other than to like make sure everybody knows.
Like setting up the fall, you know.
Exactly. Making sure they know so that way it freaks them out and they don't miss it. You don't put in all that effort.
Yeah.
Just for
Hey,
it to
guys.
get, you know.
I'm going to try it out soon and see if it works. Try it on Riley or something.
Do it.
Mm-hmm.
I bet it will.
Probably will. Most people ain't looking for that. They're easy marks.
Yeah. I think whichever, I already told the story or whatever, but like that Roots or whatever in town where
Yeah,
it's like
that's what made me think of this. That could have been very much a glitch in the Matrix.
Yeah, that story where it's like, oh hey,
we just saw the guy,
and he went upstairs,
could have been
didn't say
pranking
anything.
them, but
Maybe it's a good prank.
Yeah.
It's even funnier if you literally don't say it again and you hear people like talk about it later. That's the best prank. You know? So
it's also terrifying. That would freak me smooth out.
exactly. That's why it's so
Yeah,
good.
that's the point, I guess. Yeah.
It's perfect. I done that to Dad once.
Yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah, I walked in the house and I had my bedroom window out doing something. I can't remember doing something. Moving. I think I was taking my old flooring out or something through the window. So I like walked in and said hello, then went back to my bedroom and done a couple things, and then I just jumped out the window like 5 minutes later and walked in and said hello. And
Yeah, it acts like you did the same
Did
thing.
he even notice?
No. See, I'm telling you. Like,
Yeah.
That's the best part
It's easy
because
mark.
Dad,
Exactly.
yeah, he would never even.
Never even think of like, oh, that's
No.
Like I didn't see him go back out the door.
No, he would never even think.
weird. Yeah. You almost have to do it like, to where it's like, it's weird that like they pop back up.
Yeah, Dad was not a person that you could do that prank on because I would be sitting in the living room with him and he'd be like, "Where's Brooke at?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sitting
He's
right
done that
next
to
to,
me.
you. Like,
Where's
what
Wyatt?
do you mean?
He's walked past me sitting on at the kitchen table, and he'll like walk in there and sit in the front room and be like, "Where's Wyatt at?"
Dude.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
But it is so funny to just jack with people. Oh, God, I love it.
I'm not smooth enough to do it. I wish I was, but I'm not
Really?
smooth enough.
I'm not. You just got to keep trying and eventually you'll pull it off.
Eventually you'll get it right.
You know? You've got to make it look convincing enough to where it's like, how did they do that?
I should have kept doing it and just seen how long it took.
You probably just like, why do you keep saying hi? Like, what's your deal, dude?
Leave me alone.
Yeah, shut up. Gosh.
This next one is Valuable Basil 2112. The drink I chose at the gas station suddenly became a different drink when I came home. This has happened twice now. This time it really freaked me out. The first time I walked into the gas station and I picked up a cherry flavored Alani Nu. I paid and walked out with my drink and bag. When I got home and took my drink out, it was the peach flavored one. I was so confused. Listen, this is so legit. This bothers me.
Listen. Okay, I'll hear you out, but I'm just going
Well,
to
hear me out. I was
Did you
so
write this?
confused.
You can tell.
It sounds like you.
Because that really changes how I perceive this story.
It said, I was so confused because I knew for a fact that I grabbed the cherry one and I chalked it up to maybe I was looking at the cherry and accidentally grabbed the peach.
Yeah, that's probably what happened.
Listen though, the second time, a week later, which was today, I went into the same gas station with my husband and we both picked out Alani Nu flavors. I picked up the watermelon and he picked up the peach. Mm-hmm. I saw him pick up the peach and I saw both flavors on the counter when we checked out. Mm-hmm. Remembering the first time I thought to check because they remembered that experience. They're like, I know for a fact. Mm-hmm. We pay and leave with the drinks in a bag. When we get home, I go to take out the drinks to put them in the fridge and they are both watermelon. My husband was shocked too because we both saw that he grabbed the peach one. I don't know what's going on, but it feels
All
like
the Alanis
some sort
look
of
the
glitch.
same.
No, they look
They do.
so
They all
different.
look
Listen,
the same.
here's the deal.
You guys, I believe this. 100% I believe this story.
I think someone is dyslexic or something.
Yeah. I think that it really is like,
I
listen.
truly believe it.
Like I like the Matrix idea, the glitches and stuff,
Yeah.
but come on.
But that's just
like,
how I
you know,
mess-
your
like,
keys will get moved or switched or something. What if, like, for example, let's say I just bought a hair tie. Mm-hmm. The hair tie was black yesterday. Today it's navy.
Short-term memory loss.
No!
You just
It's a
misremembered.
glitch.
You just were like, oh man.
Navy blue's
'Cause,
close
like,
enough to
seriously,
black.
like, I mean, like something like that is like you grab, especially with the Alanis. I mean, they
For it to
look
happen
similar.
2 times,
Yes.
they do not look that similar.
I think
think
she
they
was
do.
so panicked about it happening that they grabbed 2 watermelons and like
Or like he literally was just like, oh, I guess or did the same thing she did, where he like tried to grab.
a peach.
They looked
whatever.
at, they
Maybe
were
they
checking
both-
out and they looked at them on the counter checking out and they saw.
Maybe.
It could.
they-
I'm not saying it's impossible,
But for the Matrix glitches
Yeah.
to be based on a fridge with Alani in it,
Listen,
yeah, I'm
these are
saying
the
it's
ones that I
more
like.
than likely that
I
he,
like these ones because it's so simple. It's such a simple thing.
that
Because
it has
it's
such a
enough
simple answer.
that it makes you feel so crazy because you guys are immediately shutting it down.
Yeah.
It is a very simple thing.
But
It's
I do like
Because
oh,
I've done similar things and I know what I did.
No, you don't. What if it was a glitch?
Like I walked into the gas station, I'm like, I'm gonna grab a Mountain Dew. And I meant to grab a diet, but I grabbed a normal. And then I get to the truck and I'm like,
Yeah,
oh, I
man,
got
I
a
got
normal
that.
Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I was just stupid and
But
I was
it
looking at
wasn't-
the diets.
But it
Yeah.
wasn't
And what
the
probably
flavor.
happened is there
Here's the
was
thing.
3 diets in a row and 3 normals in a row. And I
Yeah.
reached beside the diet I was looking at.
Because I've thought about something enough to where I've convinced myself that I've done it
Yeah.
many times. Like it's happened multiple times in my life to where I was like, okay, I'm gonna get home, I'm gonna go do this, and then I'll go, whatever. And then so I'll go through that in my head over and over and over and over again. And then I sit there to the point to where I've forgotten that I haven't even done it yet. And then I'll look back and be like...
Because you've already lived through it in your mind.
Yes, like I haven't exactly gone through how it's supposed to go. Or even like in like dreams and stuff like that. To where it's like I wake up in the morning and I sit there and I go grab my phone. I get on my phone for a little while or whatever. And then all of a sudden... phone's not there. Yeah. I just wake up. Yeah. Oh my God, what are we talking? Yeah, like seriously, like it's
I think some of it's just the human brain just playing its games.
Yeah. So I will say that as a person who bought an Alani, I didn't buy an Alani, but I watched an Alani get bought today, and I was looking at them, and I would be hard pressed to find a specific.
Definitely
flavor.
From a tiny bit of distance, the Alanis are.
But
they're so different. Like
let's
they're
say
so.
You're like me, and you get an Alani like numerous times a week. Mm-hmm. This is your favorite drink to go get. You know which flavors you like. You know what the bottles look like. You put them on the counter and you see I have a peach and I have a watermelon. And I know for a fact I have both because the peach is like a tealish color with the peach color on it. While the watermelon is more bluish and has the
But you might be stressed about work that day. You're not thinking, you know how many sugar-free Red Bulls I've bought? Ask Mason how many times we went in the store and we both went to grab a Red Bull, and I'm thinking I'm grabbing a sugar-free Red Bull.
But are you paying the extra attention?
But my mind is, I'm like worried about what happened at work today, and I accidentally grabbed the monk fruit extract one.
Here's the deal.
You know what I'm talking about?
unless you're looking at the words, right? Like you can't convince me that it's not just you thought you grabbed something. Unless you're literally like you put it on the counter, you see the word watermelon. You see the word peach.
That's what they said.
And you get home and you put them at... No, they said that they looked at the can. Mm-hmm. You know? Because that's the thing is, I've seen the Alani cans. Mm-hmm. Okay? I would be hard pressed if you just showed me the design. I would never be able to tell you what the actual flavor is. Never.
I'm gonna die on
Gun to my head, pull the trigger because I can't figure it out.
When I want to drink an Alani, I just open the fridge and grab one real quick.
And
they're too confusing to even read.
Exactly. There's too much going on. You could have a Celsius. Okay, now I would be a little bit more. Well, there's enough white on there. Yeah. Listen, I would be convinced if it was like a Red Bull can. Maybe I'd be a little bit more like, okay.
They're pretty.
If you were like, I grabbed a dragon fruit, and when I got back to the car, it was like a peach, or whatever. Then I'd be like,
okay, that's hard, you know. Yeah. Red versus a completely red can versus a completely peach can.
Yes, like then I'd be like, hold on,
that's weird. But Alani, come on now. You're setting yourself up for failure.
Even then, I'm still like, okay, so they were probably on the same row, and I just like brain fart grabbed the wrong can and brought it like whatever.
Maybe the guy beside you was buying a peach, you know, and your brain just switched them for a second.
Yeah, but if it was like, I would be more convinced if you walked in and I was like, I'm gonna grab an Alani, and I walk out of there and I pull out a Coke out of my bag. Then I'd be like, okay,
something's off here.
Yeah, that's not right. You know.
I just like.
Why is it just the Alani switching flavors? Is what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Okay.
It's too easy to explain.
Yeah.
Right.
That one's hard for me to.
Okay.
If you could show me a receipt though that was like, yes, I bought an Alani peach.
That's the thing. She should have looked at her receipt.
Exactly.
Which a lot of people don't take receipts because I don't. They're like, you need a receipt for that? No, not the gas station.
If it bothered me that much, I'd go to wherever she bought the Alani.
I'd do it every day.
Like, hey, let's pull tape.
I would.
I want to see the camera right now.
Yeah. And whenever it scrolled across and there was 2 watermelons on the conveyor belt, they'd be like, ma'am, it might be time for medication.
It happens. There's been many a time where I'm like, man, you know, like, could have sworn, but oh well.
This next one is called Some Kind of Deja Vu. Netflix Matthew Chill or something is the username. So very interesting. It says, a few nights ago, we were driving back from visiting friends. It was late, roads were quiet, and I was half dozing in the passenger seat. We stopped at a red light, and I looked to my right, and there was a man in a black hoodie walking slowly under a street lamp, carrying a white shopping bag. The light turned green, we drove on maybe 5 minutes later, and we hit another red light. I turned my head again and saw the exact same man, same hoodie, same bag, walking under the same kind of street lamp and the same posture. Something about this made my stomach flip. I thought maybe I'd imagined it, but my husband said quietly, didn't we just see that guy? Here's the thing. The roads we took between the 2 lights don't even connect to the first street we saw him on. There's no way he could have walked there in that short time. I've had deja vu before, but this felt like mechanical. Like the world just reloaded the same NPC in a different spot. I was on a camping trip with some friends, and we camped about a few miles out from the nearest town on a small mountain. It was around 7. Wait, what?
What in the world? Did you just blow through one story and start the next?
Like, well,
My brain was still trying to catch up.
it was 7 o'clock.
Yeah, I just went to a different one.
That's hilarious.
Sorry.
Okay, I like that one a little bit more because there have been times that I've seen hitchhikers around towns and been like, wait, there's no way he moved that quick.
Yeah.
Kind of things like that. But then again, he may have been running.
And it's another thing,
You don't think
he's
would
really
notice him
fast.
running like
that guy.
You don't think you would have noticed him just running?
Because I feel like...
Well, he might have, if it's like she said, okay, these two streets don't connect, blah, blah, blah. Well, he's on his feet.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to follow the roads.
Yeah.
He may have walked between a couple houses and shortcut it and been...
And here's the deal,
They
too.
just seen him under a similar stop or street lamp.
The way that I would explain it to myself, there's two things. Either we just, like, without realizing we're lost or whatever, and we just, like, went around the block, and this guy's just still been standing there. Or it's the city, and it's just a dude with a black hoodie on
In a
walking.
gray, yeah, black hoodie, slacks, and a bag.
Like, that's not like an uncommon, outfit for like 9 o'clock night in the city. Like, there's probably another dude with his like 40 in his bag walking home. Like,
But I do like that one better than the Alani one.
yeah,
I like you guys are just targeting the Lonnies right now.
It could have been Red Bull, and I would be feel probably the same way. No, I think I target Alani though, because really, seriously, no idea
Those
what's
cans,
going on.
yeah.
Yeah,
They do have a lot going on, and some of them do have similar colors.
I'd be confused.
But I just be like, knowing that, like, being someone that's like, I really like Alani's, I know the difference. in
Maybe.
cans.
What if that person didn't like Alani's?
Maybe.
Why they
But
come on every other day?
I was like we were today. Literally today, I was trying to track down a specific Alani flavor, and it was probably the most trouble I've had finding a drink flavor. But yeah, no, I
do like the walking thing, but that one's also fairly, like Mason
Explainable.
said, if it's a
Yeah.
big city or something like that, and it's blue jeans and a gray hoodie, it's like, you know how many people are walking around.
that's common loot. That guy. Anybody could be doing
It's just
that.
to look at the exact same side of the road, someone that looks the exact same, like carrying a white bag,
Highly unlikely.
and
but
your
I'm not.
husband to be
It sounds like it's
"Did we just
dark
see them?"
outside.
Yeah.
If he's
Yeah.
walking under a street lamp, they probably both just seen a similar looking person.
That just happened. Like, I mean, do you know how many dudes in hoodies and sweatpants go to like the 7-Eleven at night?
Yeah. Yeah.
We could go outside right now and find a couple.
Yeah, and they probably would be dressed the same.
Exactly.
It's fair.
I think it's more interesting though, like whenever you see somebody that's for sure, like that's a weird outfit. For
Yeah,
two people
if
to
there
be
was
wearing at
something
once.
distinctive about the outfit, if they were like, he was wearing like a tour hoodie or something like that, like something that is distinctive and it's like, yeah, no one else is going to be wearing that kind of deal. But if it's dark outside and it's the blue jeans and a gray hoodie thing, it's like, and a white bag, it's like pretty much every place you shop's a white bag.
Yeah.
And
I don't know. It would definitely creep me out.
You could find, like, if I started walking outside right now, I guarantee you could find another dude on with like boots, jeans,
and a black t-shirt,
Yeah.
and a hat on.
yeah,
And in the
undistinct
dark,
hat,
yeah.
Yeah.
If he was of average height and all that.
Like, you
In
give the
your
police
mind,
that sketch,
especially
they're not
if-
finding nobody.
Yeah.
Your mind does play tricks on you when you're tired and it's dark, especially.
Yeah.
But it's just whenever it's the two people thing that always gets me.
I had one of my neighbors, no hate to them at all, but they, like, the first time that they ever tried to interact with me, they were in their like Jeep, and it was like 9 o'clock. I think I was coming home from one of these recording sessions, and it was like dark out, and they I drove up, past the gate and got out to go unlock the gate, and I saw their Jeep coming up by the road, and then they like started slowing down in front of the gate and like kind of stopped. And I was literally at the gate locking it, and they stopped in front of my thing, and they were like looking at me. Like they wanted me to like talk. No offense to that. I am not talking to nobody at night. That's not happening. It has to be clear as day for me to walk up to your vehicle and talk to you.
Yeah, no,
okay.
thank you. And I still don't even want to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And definitely out in the country like that. Me and buddies have had a few of those times where it's like, I'm probably not going to stop.
Yeah.
No.
Like, we're not having a conversation. I immediately turn around, go to the
So
truck.
you just left?
Yeah, no, I just turned around. I was like, I looked at him and I was at the gate and I locked it and I was like, well,
Not happening.
Yeah.
turn around and walked. And then they just kept driving. And I was like, whatever it is, it can wait.
Yeah,
Yeah.
till tomorrow morning when the lights out.
You know, if it's that big of a deal,
They'll call or something or figure out how to get a hold of us.
you know, or they'll say, or they'll yell or something. I don't know. But yeah, I was like, our first interaction's not, you know,
definitely not at night.
at
No,
night.
Not at the end of the driveway.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Me and one of my buddies had somebody chase us all the way home one time.
Are you serious?
Don't know why they did.
In a vehicle or on foot?
Yeah, in a vehicle. Not on foot.
Yeah, that's even scarier.
Yeah,
They start.
he better be in bad shape. If he, you know what I mean? Because he could catch up to me easy.
You don't think you did anything to tick them off or anything? Like,
Maybe.
Not really. I mean, we just driving.
Yeah.
We were behind him, but we were a ways behind him on the road. And he pulled over to the ditch, and we were like, well, that's kind of weird, but maybe he wants us to go around, because he was barely driving. He was like doing 10 or 15 miles an hour on the road, on the dirt road. So we were like, maybe he wants us to go around or something, you know, or he was stopping to do something. So we went around his car and went on home. And then after we got around his car, he followed us the whole way as fast as we went.
Yeah.
So I was like, is he? I think
and you
he's
still
following
went to
us
the
now.
house? Like, you didn't do
Yeah, to the house. We had guns though.
Yeah, you hit them back, like, you know.
We were coming off a hunting trip. So we stopped at the end of the driveway, and I got out with a gun, and he went to slow down, and when he seen us, he went ahead and sped up and went down the road.
You think drugs probably?
I don't know.
People are weird, especially out in the country. Because you guys know, like, the crackhead story of, like, the dude at, like, just 1 or 2 in the morning that, like...
Came to your door.
Yeah.
That still makes
on
me
our
feel
front porch.
sick.
Yeah, that's kind of like... Well,
Like, your dad had to tell him to leave because he was asking for you, right?
Well, I guess. Because he was like...
He didn't have your name or anything.
Yeah. If you know, whoever he thought, you know, he was asking
Because he said
for their
he was
son.
looking for your
Yeah,
son.
so I think obviously, here's what I think was what happened was this is probably some crackhead, right? And he's looking to hang out with his crackhead buddy at like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning at night, and probably got told to go down this road, and he's because like the Google Maps doesn't work where I'm at, right? So you kind of gotta like. Somebody's kind of got to fill you in. So he's going down there, probably doesn't know where he's going, and he sees, like, gate is open, light is on, you know,
He's
on
like,
the
that's
inside.
definitely them.
He's like, that must be the place,
Yeah.
right? So he goes up. Like, I can see from a, like, crackhead's perspective how it transpired. So you go, and then you go on the door, and you knock at the door, and you see some, like, middle-aged dude. You're probably looking for, like, a 20-something-year-old,
Yeah.
you know, 20, 30. So you're like, oh, this guy must be his dad. Hey, is your son home? I'm looking for your son, you know. I may have got the wrong address. I'm thinking.
If I was your dad, I totally would have been like, who are you talking to on the video games?
Yeah.
I did.
You
He
giving
was,
it-
the next day, he was like, son,
You inviting crackheads
yeah, did you invite somebody over last night? I was like,
What?
no. I was like, it was like,
Because your dad
it was like
got
a Tuesday,
upset,
Wednesday
wasn't he?
night. He wasn't like mad at me. He got mad at the guy.
Yeah, he was like,
Yeah.
you
Because
gotta
it's
go.
like it's like 1, 2 o'clock. Yeah, I remember like eventually he was like, well, partly because he was like through the door, but like the other night is like, yeah, like you need to leave. Like I literally woke up in the middle of the night. So like I heard him kind of get like loud, like started to yell at something. I thought it was like an animal at the front on the front porch that he was trying to like
You need
scare
to
off.
leave.
But then I heard the words, you need to leave, and I immediately was like, he is talking to another human being. I was like, uh-oh. So I kind of, like, mind you, I don't know what I planned on doing because I was like 14 at the time. But I did like, stay up and kind of have my eyes, like kind of listening,
Like, uh-oh.
you know, see if I hear anything go down, you know, get some backup going, you know, I don't know. But yeah, I do remember that, and that still is crazy.
I don't like it. Don't like it.
Yeah.
We've derailed this episode.
Yo,
Yeah, I'm
so
so
bad.
sorry.
It's all right.
I think I have 1 or 2 more shorter ones. I'll go ahead and finish the camping trip one since I just went right
Yeah,
into
we
it. Yeah.
Just
Alright.
rushed it.
I was on a camping trip with some friends, and we had camped about a few miles out from the nearest town on a small mountain. It was around 7 and was starting to get dark, and we were just setting up camp when we noticed we were fairly short on firewood but had enough for an hour or two. Feeling kind of peckish and wanting to get some snacks, I offered to drive to town to grab some firewood, and that I'd be back in less than an hour. A couple of my other friends jumped at the option to go as there was no cell service at the campsite, so we all gathered in my car and drove to town. It was about a 20-minute drive, give or take, and we had gotten in and out of the grocery store with the bare essentials plus a few gummy bears and trail mix really fast. We actually sped back to the campsite, and I know for a fact we were making good time because we had just barely gotten to the start of the mountain in less than 10 minutes before I had to slow down a bit because we saw a cop car on the side of the road. Before we pulled up to the campsite, we saw the fire was completely diminished and all of our friends had piled into the other friend's car. When we got out, they got out and confronted us, asking where we had been and what took us so long. They said the fire had gone out hours ago and they were just about ready to leave and go home because they thought we got into a wreck. Confused, we said that we'd only been out for less than an hour, but their friends pointed out now that it was in fact 11, and we'd been missing for almost 3 to 4 hours. We swore up and down that we weren't gone for long, but our friends didn't believe it, thinking we had just been messing around and lost track of time. To this day, we still don't understand where those extra few hours had gone on that drive.
I like those, the time slip things.
Oh, those bother. That's so weird.
I like that these guys thought that their friends got in a car accident, so they're like, well, guess
We're just
we'll
gonna go home.
Yep.
I thought that maybe they meant like we were gonna drive back to see.
Yeah, try to find the car.
But
yeah, like see where you guys were at. But yeah,
it's weird because there's literally no explanation at all because the people who were gone do not experience the long time at all whatsoever.
No, I'm a big fan of stuff like that because it could happen to anybody so easily. And you could kind of explain it away by we did lose track of time. Mm-hmm. But if you're just like driving to the store.
Yeah, like probably a 15-minute drive or something.
Like what all could happen that you get lost in?
For 3 to 4 hours.
Yeah, like it's stuff like that that's kind of like, oh.
Yeah, those I lean toward the time slip stuff. I like a little more. I lean towards believing it more than the Alani cans changing.
I just feel like I don't know. Because I just don't understand how the time could alter like that.
Well, time's relative, Britt.
Yeah. It is true. And that's another thing too.
Neil
where
deGrasse Tyson.
You couldn't maybe there's some scientific explanation that time because I don't know if it's possible with because I think the way the chime changes is like the same thing with how much space you move in between. I don't know. Don't quote me.
Yeah.
But
it's very scientific.
You have to move through But I don't think that big of variation is going to happen whenever both parties are on the same planet, right? But it's possible, you may walk through a wormhole or something like that without knowing it. One of the world's reality's weird.
Yeah.
Could have been that store. It could have been the cop car or the cop that was there.
Yeah. You never know. Just weird stuff happening. And boom. You're
I like it. Makes me think of Interstellar.
Yeah. I mean, same
Don't
deal.
let me leave, Marv.
Same thing.
You said same thing. It's definitely real. I believe in it. Yeah.
No, yeah. But it is cool. Because, but what would you do? And then it'd also be a really good way to mess with somebody.
Oh, yeah.
If you okay, guys, put out the fire, move all I don't know, somehow move all the clocks forward without anybody noticing,
Or being the friends that actually just sat in their car for 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah. What are you guys talking about? It's 30 minutes there and back.
That would be so mean, though.
Guys, we literally just left for you guys. Yeah. Then go to a casino or something.
Yeah. If we didn't have cell reception for a while,
Well, no. But you can't do that no more. Life 360, everybody on Life 360 dead.
Yeah.
If you just went missing for an hour, somebody just be well, I guess let's look on.
Life
360.
Look on that.
If it's a real time slip thing, they might just not show on the Life 360. They don't exist.
That's because maybe they didn't there for that time.
Yeah.
This is the last one I have. There's so many good ones, and we could do more episodes where we just tell stories because I love the time slips and the glitch and the Matrix stories. But
we could have a part 2.
Oh, we definitely could if we wanted. It says, I went camping once with my husband. We stayed at a national park campground. Each campsite has a spot to park your car and a few yards away a flat area to pitch a tent and build a fire. It's wooded all around, lots of forest. A narrow paved road connected all the sites, and off at the end of the road was a sidewalk that led to a public restroom with showers and toilets. It was late autumn, pretty cold, so there was only 1 or 2 other families camping there. In the middle of the night, I woke up and needed to pee. I really didn't want to walk all the way to the bathroom in the dark woods alone, but my husband was sleeping and I couldn't wait until the morning. So I put a lantern on the trunk of our car to make sure I'd find my way back safely, and I grabbed another lantern to take with me. The bathroom was downhill from where we were with visual distance. Just to make this clear, it was not close, but you could see the lights from our tent. Lantern in hand, I set off, reached the bathroom, used it, and started back. When I got to the paved road, I turned right and headed uphill towards our campsite. Almost immediately ended up standing in a deserted campsite. No car, no tent, just dirt and gravel. I was bewildered because I had been walking on the paved road and I hadn't turned off into a campsite. I turned around, saw the bathroom floodlights behind me, and headed back that way. Once I was there, I reoriented myself and set off again, on the road. Uphill to the right. I knew I was going the right way, until I ended up in the empty campsite again. I turned around very confused. Retraced my steps to the bathroom. I looked all around. There was no deserted campsite in view, just the paved road and lots of trees. I stepped out onto the road, headed to the right uphill, and ended up in the same deserted campsite again. At this point, I was freaked out and I felt like I was in an episode of The X-Files. I tried one last time. Back to the bathrooms. Up the road. This time I managed to stay on the road and soon saw the lantern I'd left on the trunk of our car. I hurried back, relieved beyond words. The next morning in daylight, I looked for the campsite to see if I could figure out why I kept ending up there. It didn't exist. I could not find any campsites across from the bathrooms. I still enjoy camping, but I'll never go to the bathroom alone in the middle of the night again.
I mean, I could see where there's just like you're thinking that you're following your path back, and you just completely like it's the middle of the night. You circle like
Just
around the
circle
whole
it
thing
around
and-
2 or 3 times.
It's just
Yes.
scary to do that 3 times in a row, and you're retracing your steps, and you go to the restroom, and you're like, I know I'm going straight ahead and to the right.
Yeah.
And every single time, except for the last time.
I mean, here's the deal. It is without like a compass or something like that. If you get deep in the woods, it's really hard to have a sense of
Yeah, direction. Knowing where you're actually
you know,
at.
because I've heard that that's like the whole thing. Whenever people are like, "Oh, you know, if you follow the moss, it'll lead you to civilization," you know, stuff like that. It's not really gonna point towards obviously civilization. It's literally just so that way you
You're
can
straight
keep walking.
lining. Yeah.
Yes, in the same direction. So eventually you get out of the woods,
Yeah.
right?
It's like following a creek or something.
Yes,
Yeah.
like that's why that works, is because
It's a straight line.
yes,
You're not getting lost from
Yeah.
because without it,
things look very similar, and
because a lot of people have died
Walking
in like
circles.
because they think that they're like walking towards the exit, but in reality they're just
so sad.
yeah.
But that would scare me to death. Whether it was a glitch in the Matrix or just me getting myself lost, that is
Yeah.
terrifying.
Yeah.
Oh,
to
yeah.
end up in the same spot.
If it's the middle of the night and I just want to go pee and like I'm trying to go back to the camp and go to bed and I can't find it, like I
Yeah.
just keep on like
feel like
circling
you're in
somewhere else.
a.
Yes, I'd start to be like, oh god, I'm too tired for this. Like I don't
I
want to.
might have just slept in the bathroom.
Yeah,
Yeah, probably.
like they'd find me.
I guess I'll just stay here.
I'm surprised there weren't many boat ones. That seems like the ones that I seem to remember
I didn't
reading
see
a lot.
any, but there probably are. It's just I try to take ones that are newer and like that haven't been read, but there probably are. What are the ones that you kind of read more like?
Well, like, of course, you read the Bermuda Triangle stories, but it seems like that kind of stuff where it's like a boat hits a storm and then they end up on a set of islands that they shouldn't have been anywhere near, and
Yeah.
like stuff like that. Seem to read a lot of the nautical stuff. They have that issue.
Even just national parks, which I like that was a national park because like missing 411 cases and everything where people
Just anomaly, like it
Yeah.
makes no
they're like
sense how
so
they.
many miles away, or the crazy things
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
in such a short amount of time that shouldn't have been physically possible, which could be glitch in the Matrix type things technically.
Yeah.
I didn't think of it that way, but I
It
guess
could
it
be.
could be.
And I think it's interesting too with like
Or
the
portals. I wonder
Yeah.
if that's like a
wormhole,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
I said, yeah. Because I mean, space time is like they're connected. If you sit there and you hit like a wormhole or something like that, then time's gonna kind of move. You will be like, relatively the same, but time will kind of
it'll keep
wrap
going.
with you. Yeah, and I think it really is interesting with like the time slip stuff, because time is physically relative to you, right? Like it will change depending on your where you're at in the universe, but then also it changes like perception wise, like mentally, like the way that you process things and the way that your brain like sends it to long-term memory or just forgets it entirely.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing. I heard about the other day a guy that wanted to stay in a cave, so like in complete darkness, and he thought he could use his his body's clock, to figure the amount of days, so he didn't take anything in there with him. And he was planning on staying like 2 weeks or something, and ended up walking out at like day number 7 and found out, he was only in there for 7 days. Well, it turns out he was just sleeping twice the amount of hours because there was no sunlight or anything in there.
Yeah.
Nothing. He didn't have an alarm clock or anything to wake him up. He thought he assumed he would sleep 8 to 10 hours.
Yeah.
So he lived like that. He thought he was sleeping 8 or 10 hours, stay
and he
awake
woke up in his morning. And
12, 14, 15 hours. But turns out he was just sleeping like 20 to 24 hours at a time.
Yeah. Something similar happened to Vsauce whenever he tried to live in like isolation for like a couple days or whatever, to where he was fully convinced that it was the final day of the experiment and that somebody was about to come to the door and like let him in, and he was a day ahead. Like he still had a full day to go through, and he sat there and realized like it kind of like, I think he kind of had a mental like, oh my God, because
got the whole nother day.
Yes, because but it's not even, now you don't even know if it's a whole nother day.
Yeah.
Now you're so messed up to where it could be,
days, multiple days.
Like
That was what was that magician? Dadgummit, the one that done all the crazy, like he froze himself and all of that.
Oh, I don't know.
Are we talking Houdini, or are we talking
this guy's
David Blaine, or
David Blaine? I think it was David Blaine. Look it up. He done a deal where he was like frozen for a certain amount of time, and he said like towards the end
David
of it,
Blaine.
Towards the end of it, he thought like
63 hours and 42 minutes.
I think it was towards the end of the experiment. He thought it had been like days, because he like had a guy tell him how long, like he had a guy outside tell him how long he'd been in or something like that. And then he said he thought he spent like hours, and then he had the guy check the time again, and it had been like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's when he quit the deal.
Yeah, I think it really is weird how, not even just like, like how the brain processes time and how it can vary. Because you could probably have two people that lived to be like 80 years old on the dot, and then they had, but if you look at the amount of time that they
one had a lot more
experience,
they had a lot more time than the other did.
Yes, like if you like were to look at like hours that they remember, it's like experiences. And
watching this is so basic that everyone has, but the summer I turned pretty. Everyone makes fun of the main character. Her name's Belly. They say she's an unreliable narrator because her perspective people don't think is reliable versus other people's POVs. It's just funny how like everyone is actually an unreliable narrator. Yeah. Because in your own perspective, like things are so much different to every single person, including time or how an event happened or
perspective and kind of how stuff changes everything. Because anytime you hear stories and stuff like that, I mean, you kind of have to, even whenever, if you look at somebody's Wikipedia page, whenever they do this whole where like, they go through to see what's accurate or not, you still can't even like, you can't just take whatever they say and change it to whatever, because they could just be lying. You don't have the information, like the factual, like no matter how you look at it. You can't rely on that.
You can't know.
Yeah. Same thing with like, if you can't prove that, 3 or 4 hours have passed, even though it feels like it has. If you check the time and says it's been 40 minutes, then
it's been 40 minutes.
Yeah, there's not anything that,
I think that's the scariest part, is if any of it is real, you are crazy no matter what.
Yes.
You're crazy if it is real, and you're also crazy if it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because either way, something ain't right.
Gosh.
It's crazy to think about. Yeah. I don't think I've had any experiences that I can remember of things like this. Like, I've heard of people who were like, oh, I drove my car and I took this exit, but it's the exit I always take, but then I just ended up right back where I was. I took the exit again. Like, just weird things.
I know,
weird
like,
keys,
some of
but,
that I think is just like the human brain.
Yeah.
you know?
Just like man
That's
funky.
like if you drive long distance or something, like truckers have that. Or if you're really tired when you're driving, like I know sometimes when if we got a mixed shift or something, where it's like you might work 6 to 4 today, and then you get a call from the boss and it's like, hey, you need to be at this next job site at like 2 a.m. tomorrow or something like that. So then you're running on low sleep and it's a long drive or something like that. You wouldn't remember going through towns and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've had like basic stuff like that happen where it's like, oh, where, like I said, like in the morning where I'm fully convinced that I've got on my phone and jacked with it, but then like, you know, turns out I haven't even woke up yet. I was just kind of imagining it. Or
I think if
dreaming
it's
it or,
anything, it's like losing things. Like, I know for a fact I put my keys on the counter right here and they're gone, and then later you go back in there in that spot.
I think
type
it's
of
like
thing.
it's simple stuff to where like maybe you could maybe say that it's like a time slip, but at the end of the day you could also just be like, well, I just forgot.
Yeah.
Like maybe
I
it
wasn't
just
paying
That's what makes
Yeah.
it hard about it. Unless it's something major, like the camping 4 hours were lost kind of deal.
Yeah.
Yes. Or like you sit there and like let's say you go through a plane and you look down and it's just a whole like different time period.
Yeah.
You know, then yeah. Or like I said, like where if you're on something and you think that like you've lived a whole lifetime and then all of a sudden it's
You wake up and that's all gone.
Yeah.
It was never a thing.
yeah, you're back in your 20s hanging out with like your like dumb college friends and you're like, "Oh my god,
You just lived 50 years
Yes.
in existence.
Yeah.
you just died of old age at like 80 something with your loving like husband or loving like kids and
Yeah.
your wife and husband or whatever." And then now it's like,
Oh, sorry, they actually don't
Snap
exist.
back to reality.
yeah.
Yeah.
There goes
Seriously.
gravity.
It's like very much, I always talk about Supernatural, but the trickster, Gabriel, the angel Gabriel, he's the trickster. He does like time loops on them and
Yeah, we
lets
didn't
them
even.
live
We just went through
lives
this
and-
whole thing and didn't talk about Groundhog Day.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
much a Groundhog Day. Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
That's a word I was looking for earlier, but I couldn't think of it. Just living the same thing over and
Yeah.
over and over again.
Yeah.
In a loop.
But then also it's just like what if it's just you are looking back on 2 days that were just like, or events that were just
Like,
super similar.
That's the day. Like DejaVu is something we really should have touched on to a little bit more. Because there's been times where I was like,
I will
oh,
have
I
deja
think
vu
I have
a lot.
lived this day before.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or not even like
It
moments
can be a
of, like,
conversation like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I've already heard this conversation before.
Yeah.
That
And
will get me.
it's
Which we could
weird.
do something else on deja vu because
Yeah.
I think beliefs around deja vu were a little bit different.
Yeah.
Something than just like glitch
There's
in the
some cool
Matrix
stuff
types.
behind
yeah,
deja
yeah.
vu.
They say it's a deal in the brain. Like supposedly they say it's something in the brain that
That's
like
kind of
it stores it wrong, stores like a memory that you just had that memory. The brain stores it wrong or something and makes it think it's something that you have
I've already
been through
experienced,
before.
but you
Yeah.
didn't. Yeah.
yeah, or like, but yeah, I've seen some really cool theories. Of, like,
I've definitely
like
had
it's
some
realities,
some
like
heavy deja vu.
yeah, like alternate realities, and they're all converging on like one point that's
Yeah.
all the same, and then they split back off.
Off
or-
again.
yeah, stuff like that. Like some pretty.
It
cool
is crazy
thought.
to think that if there was such a thing as the alternate, that no matter what, there will be certain points in time where everything
everything
meets up and
connects.
it's all the same. Yeah. No matter who you are or what you're doing or like just the
They all lead to a
That's
point.
the point where they think people change over.
Yeah.
Like that's because I've heard of certain things like what the joke I kind of mentioned at the beginning about the song that we can't figure out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 100% sure that song is out there.
Yeah.
And one day I'm going to be listening to like my recommended and it's going to pop back up. But that is something that there is some stories out there of people like words that they swear exist.
Or
like
what's
they come from a world where this word was used for a certain thing all the time and then all of a sudden nobody else remembers it.
Yeah.
And that's one of those like they think
or the Mandela effect or whatever,
Yeah,
where it's like the Bernstein Bears instead of the Bernstein
Oh my
Bears.
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate that.
Like stuff like that, which I
Yeah.
think a majority of that is just misrememberings or
Yeah.
whatever. But or like where I can't remember which guy, but they like a dude that like went to like the number one thing, like the first mass recorded effect was like whenever somebody, like a lot of people thought that this guy died in jail or something like that, like some famous dude like died in jail, but turns out that he'd been released from jail and was living or whatever. But like there was a large percentage of people that thought
believed it.
he died in jail or something like that. So yeah, no, it's weird. I mean, but I think it is interesting that like if there are alternate realities that or I've even heard the immortal theory of like to where any time that you have a near-death experience that you switch over to the reality
next
where
one. I like that
lived
one.
it instead of
I've heard that one. I kind of like that one. The thing where like every time you almost died during something, like you actually died, but your conscious has been moved to the next parallel universe where you survive.
Yeah,
and it just keeps going.
Yeah,
It's kind of scary or sad though, because
I think
if you move to that, the people are going to be like slightly different. It's not actually who you knew.
Yeah, they
or
cover
the
that
memories
in
that you had.
Rick and Morty.
Rick and Morty.
Yeah, no,
serious?
that's their whole thing is that they're all from different, dimensions or universes or whatever.
Oh,
and
I
like,
didn't know that.
like,
I
yeah,
never
like,
watched it, but
yeah, like everybody's like they have like infinite whatever, like character, like infinite Ricks, infinite Mortys, all that stuff.
Wow.
They cover it a lot.
Yeah, because there was an episode, I haven't seen all of them, but there was an episode where like their world is over with, like something destructive happened. I don't remember. So
Yeah, like
rather than like fixing their world, they just find a parallel universe
That
where
was exactly like
where
their
the
own
two
one, and they figured it
characters
out.
die.
Yeah, like it was like I think it was like some mass like virus or something like that that turned people into like the bug monsters or.
Yeah.
And then like they were like, well, I can't figure it out, so they switched over to an alternate reality where the Rick figured out how to fix it. And they died immediately afterwards.
Yeah. So then they bury themselves and
Oh my
replace
gosh.
them in that universe.
no one knew that they had died.
Yeah.
That's why they just.
And just continue living on like normal. Yeah,
They'd
like
lived the
that's-
same lives before. It was just one break where something changed. Where rather than that, this their world dying, this world they figure out the cure. Kind
Yes,
of.
and in infinite worlds with
Yeah.
infinite possibilities that specific chain of events occurs.
There was that Creepcast story where the guy switched like the paper.
Yeah, the note
That
paper,
kind of-
whatever, where he
yeah,
switched
yeah.
worlds or whatever. Yeah, I it's probably just cope though. It's probably just people that are like, oh man, like. But it's an interesting thought.
Yeah.
It's cool. I like the idea of it. Yeah, we could do deja vu and parallel universe.
You ever got that feeling like you had deja vu?
It's all the time.
God.
All right.
All right, chat.
Alrighty.
Thank you so much for joining us in today's episode. If you enjoyed this, make sure to like and subscribe. We want to hear from you. Leave topic ideas in the comments or find our email in the description box below to send us your scary stories.
We want to hear from you.
Find us here
You
next time
specifically.
on Fear and Flame Podcast.
You watching this right now, Nathan. Your name. I know you're watching this. Your name
Thank you
is
so
Nathan.
much.
Send
It's
us an email.
it's scary for viewers when there's 50
one
and
guy
only one comment.
got a little shook right then.
Thank you so much. We'll see
Call
you
out
next
the
time.
one commenter.
See you, gangsters.
Take it easy.
Bye.
I'll take it.